guys, it's me Nikolai. I'm a new YouTuber here, and I want to show you all my airplanes. And please enjoy, like and subscribe if you're new and if you like my channel. And I'm going to show you how much of these aircrafts I have. And there are a lot, like 45, more than 45 I think so. And just to say, I'm filming this in Russia, and if you want to buy these planes, they are from Russia, and some of them are from somewhere else. And now let's start. Come. So first, these boxes of planes are just for the videos who I am going to film them, and I'm gonna open them soon, maybe today. I'm gonna make a video about them, or tomorrow. I don't know when I'm ready. So we will first start with Lufthansa. After number 2 is Vietnam Airlines, who was literally bought from someone, but I don't know who's it. And the airline is 787 Dreamliner, and it's they use it in that time, and nowadays it's really popular though. They make a lot of videos, you could see it. I have more of these. And after we have a cargo, our first cargo who we film, it's Aerologic. I don't know if this airline is a German, but it's still a 777-300 or 400, but I still don't know it. Next up is Lufthansa A350, who's really new one, because they were made 1001 in 2018, but now it's 2019. Next up we have our first Singapore Airlines, who's A380. You could see this Singapore Airlines in the old back times, they said it was the best airline in the world, but now it could reach 6 or 5, but it's in 5 stars, yeah. But it's still really popular in Singapore. Next up, Korean Air. We all think that Korean Air is the best, but I think it's the worst, because I think it's 4 or 3 stars, but it's still good. And it's an A380, but I think it's the same model as Singapore. And that's like a 301. Next up, we have Lufthansa, the Barhum. I don't know what is the football team, but it's a 747. It's the big one. I don't know if it's the new one, but it's really cool. It looks really cool. You could see it. And next up, we have Air France A350. I know Air France. Every time when I get on Air France, sometimes they lose the baggage, but it's still good. And I don't know if this model exists, but I don't know. But if you know, tell me in the comments below. Next up, we have Turkish Airlines. Okay, I'm gonna talk about it a lot. Turkish Airlines is a really popular airliner in Europe, and it is the 4-star, I think so, or 5-star, because it's maybe the best airline in Europe. But how maybe it could be the best? I don't know if it's the best, but I don't know. Next up, we have Turkish Airlines again, but it's more different. I flew with this Turkish Airlines, but it's really cool because the airliner has more comfortable seats, and and if you didn't know, I think it is with SkyTeam, or I think it's a Star Alliance member. Okay, I'm gonna make a video of a Star Alliance member, so don't worry. Next up, we have Ava, our first Ava. So I think this Ava is made in America. But I think it's not made in America, I think so. It's made somewhere southeast or northeast. Because it's made in Orlando or Florida. We don't know, but it's maybe of these two countries. Next up, we have Qatar. Qatar is like the most popular aircraft, I think so. But it's really classic, I think so. Everybody, like Century has a video of Qatar, I think so. I don't know. But it's a model of A350, and they actually have it. And there's another one. That's why I'm filming these two ones. Next up, we have Eurowings. Eurowings, I don't know if I didn't know this aircraft existed in our times, but it's made in Germany. A lot of aircrafts were made in Germany. I don't know why, but there can be more than one airline. Next up, we have Lufthansa A330. I don't know, but this aircraft is really, really classic, I think so. And it also has like more details like on the back, and it's first class. Next up, we have United States of America. Okay, this is not an airline. This is not a cargo airline. It's President Trump's aircraft. President Trump's aircraft had a lot of aircrafts, but the first president of the world had the most popular aircraft, but it's really old. The first American president had Douglas 8, I think so. And after, they had the Douglas 8. And after they moved to 757, 737, and after they got this, and maybe you could see this aircraft, it's not really like the Lufthansa one over there, because this aircraft has these things at the end of the wings. You could see them there, and I will explain why. Because the president is really important for me. I don't know. And when there's a tornado, they could pass just from it. But it can't go to the tornado. It couldn't fly to the tornado. But it could go past through the tornado. Because it has these special things, and it's a really special aircraft. I think I explained a lot. And next up is Asiana Air. I thought this Asiana Air, I thought it's from China, although it's from Korea, I don't know, but Korea has a lot of aircraft, I think so. And it's a 777, like the Air Logic, and it's the same model. And next up, it's Air China. I have two of these, so when you see the other one, I will not explain it because you already know. This model is a really strange one, but I think it's the first graded one, because you could see the engines are really big, and it's really stranger. Next up, we have Emirates, the most popular aircraft in United Arabics. I know this aircraft, everybody loves it, and I know it has 5 stars and all. Mama! Oh, I'm sorry. And it's a A340, and it can carry like 200 people, I think so. I have no idea. But it's really classic, actually. And they're friendly, actually. Next up, we have Dutchlands. 2 Dutchlands. These 2 Dutchlands are from Germany. These aircrafts are from the presidents of Germany. They actually have them because It's like A340, and it's more different than Emirates, and it's a smaller one. I think so. Yeah. Next up, we have Qatar Pacific. You can see it. This model is like the Dutchland airline, but this aircraft is really clean as the 5-star one, I think so. And this is made in China, actually. The aircraft. It's not made in China, it's a toy. And the aircraft, the airliner was made in China. And I think it's really popular in China. I don't know, actually. Next up, we have Thai. I'm sorry, but we skipped Air China because we already told them. We just told you. Next up, we have Thai. It's an A340, but it's a really modern one. But I don't actually know if the one wing in the back is broken. I know. And after we have American. These two Americans are from maybe Southeast America or North America, and I think they're made in New York City or Los Angeles. And they're 777 200, I think so, because they're much smaller than the Asiana Air. Next up, we have Delta. Delta is a really classic airliner in North America. But maybe it could be the first airline who can be in the SkyTeam or Star Alliance member. And I think it's a really classic aircraft. And this model is actually the oldest model ever you've seen. Because this model of aircraft is made in 1980s, I think so. Next up, we have Ethiopian aircraft. I know this is a really cool aircraft, but it's like the Asiana Airlines, and I think it's a poor airliner, but it has a 777, and I think it spent a lot of money on this thing. And Ethiopia is actually a really poor country. How do they have the airliners though? We will ask the question in other videos. And if you could tell me something in comments about it, tell me right now. Next up, we have Thai. Another Thai, but it's 787 Dreamliner. And it's I think it's the most coolest airline in Thailand. And it's actually in Thailand. Because I really thought when I was small, I thought this was in Thailand, but it actually is. And the aircraft is a Dreamliner, so don't get like, I don't know how to say. Next up, we have United. You all thought United could kick out people. Well, the question is, yes or no? I'm answering in 3, 2, 1. The answer is yes, because if you're being like very bad to them, they will actually kick you out. So be careful of these. And it's actually a Dreamliner again. It's the same model, I think so, as Thai. Next up, I don't know if this aircraft, but I think it's from Ecuador or Colombia. Let me just see. Ecuadoriana. It's Ecuadoriana. I don't know what is, but it's a really mysterious name. Sorry. This airliner is from Colombia. And I know it's a small one. It's an A310 or A380 or A18th or A319th. And I don't know if this airliner is classic or popular, but I think it's not allowed to land in Europe. or Asia. But it could fly to North and South America. And the airliner it could be very dangerous. And it's not even a SkyTeam or Star Alliance member, maybe. I don't know. But maybe they have their own members. Next up, we have Thai, an A380, a big one. Okay, this aircraft is a very big one. And it is actually very classic, I don't know. But if you could see, it's more modern, and I think it's not that modern than the Dreamliner 787. And it's really modern than the 787. I don't know actually. Next up, we have Aeroflot, my favorite airline. I know this airline is 4-star in Skytrax, and it could be a Star Alliance member, and it's in SkyTeam. This aircraft is really rich, and it carries maybe 100 people a day or a week. Next up, we have Qatar Dreamliner. This Dreamliner is actually the most modern in Qatar. And the country is, I don't know, it's Doha. Yeah, I remember the capital. And it's really, I think it's really popular, like this aircraft. And it's okay. And it's modern than the other ones, actually. I think so. Next up, we have a very strange airliner who is Aerosporsun Inc. I don't know, but it's an American. It's an American one, and it's made back in the old ones. But I think it still exists. It still exists, I think so. It's like the modern cargo one. Next up, we have Antonov. The Antonov 22 is really popular, but they had it in Russia in the old back times, and after they sold it to North Korea. After this modern airliner turned to a cargo, and it's a very modern cargo airliner actually, and it's my favorite cargo. I don't know, but it's an very old one. Next up, we have Danish Airlines. Okay, let me explain. So this aircraft is a very old one. It's in Denmark. It is a Danish aircraft, and it is actually it was really good at. But I thought of this aircraft. It's really old, but I think it's a DC-2, and it's a really old one. It's a really old model, and it's made in 1930. Yeah, it's made in 1930s. Next up, we have U.S. Navy. Okay, let me explain this. U.S. Navy is it still exists, I think so. But the USSR in U.S. doesn't exist anymore. And the U.S. Navy was an aircraft, and it maybe still exists, the aircraft. And you could find it in museums. Next up, we have a Singapore and a British. Okay, let me explain this model. I don't know, but this airline, I think it's a SkyTeam and a Star Alliance member. And it's a Concorde. Okay. Let me explain. You know that Concorde was crashed a lot of times because of the wings, and the Concorde airliner looked like a Boeing airliner. And they removed it somewhere in 1980s, I think so. Next up, we have 737 Boeing. Okay, I know this is a very, very old one, a 737. So it was first made it was first made in 1963, I think so, or 1960-70. but it's still really good. And it's a really cool aircraft in the 90s. And after they maybe they still exist, the aircrafts. And after maybe they removed it and made a Neo. After they got the Neo ones, and I just said the word Neo. And they made these, and they were really more like modern. Next up, I have Qantas. Qantas is actually a Star Alliance member and a SkyTeam, I think so. Although it has in the old back times they had a 737, 747, and I think it said 737. And after we have Bulgarian Air, who is a bit damaged. It's still okay. Okay, Bulgarian Air is from my country, but although I think it's not in SkyTeam either, Star Alliance member. But maybe they could be in SkyTeam or Star Alliance member. Next up, we have Swiss. I know Swiss is a Star Alliance member. You could actually see it, and it's not really good, the camera. Okay. Actually, I don't. I'm sorry, but I'm actually telling you, it's a Star Alliance member. And I think this aircraft, it's a Switzerland airline. And Switzerland is really popular actually, because they didn't got any war. Lucky. Next up, Air Berlin. This is another German aircraft. There are a lot of German aircraft, like Berlin has their only Air Berlin. But I think it's a still good aircraft. And last but not at least, another Bulgarian. Okay, it's not actually a Neo. It's an old one. It's A320. It's a small one. And it could be in the, I don't know, but this Bulgarian Air is the older one. It's the old one. And I think that's all from me. So guys, if you liked my video, subscribe, like, and click that bell. And have a good day. Bye.